A legend steps to the line, runs his route with surgical precision, and catches passes in a way that rewrote the record books forever. Jerry Rice didn't just play wide receiver, he redefined what the position could be, accumulating career totals so towering they stand as monuments to excellence that may never be touched. This is the story of the man who made records that will never be broken, whose 20-season career became the gold standard for sustained greatness in the NFL. Jerry Lee Rice was born October 13, 1962, in Starkville, Mississippi, and grew up in Crawford, a small town where football dreams seemed distant from reality. His path to greatness began at Mississippi Valley State University, a historically black college where he torched the record books with 4,693 receiving yards and 50 touchdowns receptions across 4 seasons. His 27 touchdowns in 1984 alone caught the attention of NFL scouts, earning him the nickname World for his ability to catch anything thrown in his vicinity. The San Francisco 49ers selected him with the 16th overall pick in the 1985 draft.
The San Francisco 49ers select the 16th pick in the first round. Wide receiver, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley.
Not knowing they had just acquired the most prolific receiver in football history. Rice's rookie season offered only glimpses of what was to come. 39 receptions for 927 yards and 3 touchdowns. But by 1986, the legend was born. He led the NFL with 1,570 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns, beginning a dominance that would span 2 decades. His connection with Joe Montana became instant poetry, a quarterback-receiver tandem that redefined offensive possibility. They would later add Steve Young to that partnership, creating an era where San Francisco's passing attack was simply unstoppable. The numbers Rice accumulated over his career defy belief and logic. In 20 NFL seasons, he caught 1,549 passes for 22,895 receiving yards and 197 touchdowns, career records that stand as the most untouchable in professional sports. To understand the magnitude, the second-place receiver in career touchdowns, Randy Moss, finished with 156, meaning Rice scored 41 more touchdowns than one of the greatest receivers ever. His 22,895 receiving yards is nearly 4,000 yards ahead of Larry Fitzgerald in second place. These aren't just records, they're monuments to sustained excellence. Rice's peak years in the late 1980s and early 1990s were otherworldly. In 1987, during a strike-shortened 12-game season, he caught 22 touchdown passes, a record that still stands and becomes more impressive when you consider he did it in 4 fewer games than a normal season. His 1995 campaign saw him accumulate 1,848 receiving yards, another record that remains untouched. He led the NFL in receiving yards 6 times, touchdown receptions 6 times, and receptions twice. Only 4 players in history have led the league in all 3 major receiving categories in the same season. Rice did it first in 1990 with 100 catches for 1,502 yards and 13 touchdowns. But Rice's greatness transcended regular season statistics. In the postseason, he was supernatural. His 22 playoff touchdown receptions and 2,245 playoff receiving yards are records that may never be approached. In Super Bowls alone, he caught 33 passes for 589 yards and 8 touchdowns across 4 appearances. His performance in Super Bowl 23, 11 catches for 215 yards and a touchdown, earned him MVP honors and remains one of the greatest championship game performances ever. That 215-yard effort is still a Super Bowl record. The durability aspect of Rice's career sets him apart from every other receiver who ever played. He appeared in 303 games over 20 seasons, starting 284 of them. He had 274 consecutive games with at least 1 reception, a streak that spanned from 1985 to 2004. 14 times he reached 1,000 receiving yards in a season, a benchmark most receivers never achieve once. He scored touchdowns in 13 consecutive games during his prime. At age 40, he was still productive, catching 25 passes for 362 yards with the Seattle Seahawks. Rice's work ethic was legendary. His training regimen, which included running hills in the California heat and precise route running drills, became the template for receiver development. He treated every practice like a game, every route like it mattered, every catch like a stepping stone to greatness. Players and coaches throughout the league spoke of his preparation, his film study, and his relentless pursuit of perfection. The era Rice played in adds context to his achievements. He faced the fierce defenses of the 1980s and 1990s when receivers were regularly decked by safeties and linebackers without penalty flags flying. The rules protecting receivers today didn't exist then, yet Rice thrived in that physical environment. He played through injuries that would sideline modern players, including a devastating knee injury in 1997 that many thought would end his career. Instead, he returned the following season and continued his excellence for 7 more years. His trophy case reflects his dominance: 3 Super Bowl championships, 13 Pro Bowl selections, 10 first-team All-Pro honors, tied for the most ever by any player, 2 NFL Offensive Player of the Year awards, and induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In his first year of eligibility, the NFL honored him on both their 75th and 100th anniversary all-time teams, and NFL Network ranked him the greatest player in league history. Beyond individual accolades, Rice's impact on the game was revolutionary. He perfected route running as an art form, using precise cuts, perfect timing, and an understanding of leverage that turned short passes into long gains. His ability to get separation from defenders, even in his late 30s, became the blueprint for receiver development. Young players studied his film, coaches taught his techniques, and the position evolved because of his innovations. The records Rice holds are staggering in both number and distance from second place. His 208 total touchdowns, 197 receiving, 10 rushing, 1 fumble recovery, is 33 more than Emmitt Smith, who played running back, a position typically associated with more scoring opportunities. His 1,256 career points are the most by any non-kicker in history. He reached 100 career touchdown receptions faster than any player, 120 games, and was the first to 14,000 and 15,000 receiving yards. Rice's longevity defies explanation in a position known for short careers. Wide receivers typically peak early and decline quickly due to the physical demands and accumulation of hits. Rice played at an elite level for nearly 2 decades, adjusting his game as he aged while maintaining the precise route running and sure hands that defined his prime. His final season statistics: 25 catches, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns at age 42 would be respectable for many players in their primes. What makes Rice's records unbreakable isn't just their magnitude, but the convergence of factors required to approach them. A receiver would need to maintain elite production for 15 to 20 seasons, avoid career-ending injuries, play in an offense that emphasizes passing, have elite quarterbacks throughout their career, and possess the unique combination of speed, hands, route-running ability, and durability that Rice displayed. The modern NFL's emphasis on load management, salary cap implications, and player safety make such longevity increasingly unlikely. Contemporary receivers like DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, and others are elite, but none are on pace to challenge Rice's major records. Cooper Kupp's 2021 season, where he led the league in all 3 major receiving categories, was historic. But Rice did it in 1990 and then continued that excellence for another decade and a half. The man who made records that will never be broken didn't do it through flash or one spectacular season. Jerry Rice achieved immortality through relentless consistency, professional dedication, and a standard of excellence maintained across 2 decades. His career is a monument to what's possible when supreme talent meets unmatched work ethic and unwavering determination. Every touchdown catch, every precise route, every impossible grab over the middle was another brick in a legacy that stands alone. When fans debate the greatest NFL players of all time, positions and eras become secondary to one simple truth: Jerry Rice accumulated more receiving yards, more receptions, and more receiving touchdowns than anyone who ever played the game, and by margins so vast, they seem to exist in their own statistical universe. In a sport defined by violent collisions and short careers, Jerry Rice played 20 seasons and retired as the most dominant player at his position in league history. His records aren't just numbers. They're landmarks of human achievement in professional sports, testaments to what happens when greatness refuses to accept limitations. The man who made records that will never be broken showed us that in football, as in life, sustained excellence over time is the truest measure of greatness.